Cell, the basic unit of life. Cell is the basic unit of life and it is considered as the structural and functional unit of an organism. Robert Hooke in 1665 discovered cell. He first observed the cell in a piece of dead cork cells. That means he observed first time when the cell was observed, that cell was dead. That is the cork cells. He described the cell in his book named Micrographia. After Robert Hooke, Leeuwenhoek, he first observed the animal cell and used the term animalcule for it. The study of cell structure is called as cytology. The study of cell structure, function and reproduction is called as cell biology. The term cytology was first coined by Hertwig, who wrote a book entitled Cells and Tissues. Robert Hooke is known as the father of cytology, and Swanson is called as the father of modern cytology. According to Dutronchet, cell is the basic unit of life. He believed in individuality of cells. That means cells can individually survive. Lamarck stated that all living beings, they are formed of cells. That means all living organism body are made up of cells, whether unicellular or multicellular. Lewy and Siekwitz define cell as the unit of biological activity. That means all the biological activities can undergo within the cell, which is delimited by a selective permeable membrane that we call as plasma membrane, and the cell is capable of self-reproduction in a medium free from other living systems. That means it states that the cell can individually survive. Biological activities like the respiration, excretion, reproduction, all these activities undergoes within the cell. The cell is limited, that means bounded by the selectively permeable membrane or plasma membrane. And all these activities is done inside the cell, free from the other living systems. Cell theory. Cell theory was proposed by Malthus Schleiden, who was the German botanist, and Schwann, the German zoologist. They jointly proposed the cell theory in 1839. The main features of this cell theory are: all living organisms consist of cells and their products. All cells are structurally and metabolically similar. All living organisms consist of cells and their products. Cells and their products means that is unicellular, then cells organized to form tissues, tissues organized to form the organs, and organs organized to form the organ system. And different organ systems forms the individual organism body. So that's why it is said that cells and their products combinedly form the living organism body. All cells are structurally and metabolically similar. That means the structure and the metabolic activities of the cell, these all are same in all the living organism body. Cells perform vital activities of an organism, the vital activities which is required for the organism body, for the organism survival. These all are performed in the cells. Each cell is the unit of heredity, means the cells contain the heredity unit. That means we say that each cell contains nucleus. New cell arise from pre-existing cells. Omnis cellulae cellula, this is a term which is used for new cell arise from pre-existing cells, and this postulate, this cell theory, it was given by Rudolf Virchow in 1855. Now there are certain restrictions on the cell theory, and these restrictions or the objections are: number one, bacteria and cyanobacteria do not bear nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles. We already have studied that this cell contains the nucleus, or cell is having the unit of heredity. But these bacteria and cyanobacteria means the blue-green algae. Bacteria and blue-green algae, they don't have nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelle. That means they belong to the category of prokaryotic cells. So they don't have nucleus. Next is viruses. Viruses are acellular. Acellular means their cellular they don't have cell organelles or proper cellular organizations. RBCs and sieve tube cells, they live without nucleus. The mature RBCs, red blood corpuscles, mature RBCs, they don't contain nucleus. Whereas sieve tube cells, sieve tubes are the component of phloem. Sieve tubes lie adjacent to the companion cells. So companion cells have the nucleus, and the activities of the sieve tube is carried out by the or controlled by the activity of the companion cell's nucleus. So nucleus of the companion cell control over the activities of sieve tubes. Protozoans and many thallophytes, they have a uninucleate differentiated body. That means they have single nucleus that cannot be divided into cells, and they are acellular. Now the next is modern cell theory. It is known as the cell doctrine or cell principle. All living organisms, they are made up of cells having protoplasm, nucleus, organelles and a covering membrane. Function of living organisms are the sum total of the activities of their cells, means whatever the number of the cells which are present in the organism body, all the activities which is done by these cells shows the function of that living organism. Cell can survive independently, but organelles cannot do so. The cell organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, nucleus, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum and other cell organelles, if we take out these cell organelles away from the cell, these cell organelles cannot survive, but a single cell can survive. So this here we say that the cell can survive independently, but the cell organelles cannot. Any cell arises from pre-existing cells. Already we have studied about the cell theory proposed by Rudolf Virchow, that new cells arises from pre-existing cells. So new cells are formed from the already existing parent cells. Cell is the unit of structure, function and heredity. Life exists in cell. That means cell is the living structure. Growth of an organism is due to increase in size and number of cells. When the number of the cells increases, we say that growth has taken place, and this occurs in a multicellular organism like we, human beings, or the mammals, or multicellular like plants also. Whereas when we talk about the unicellular organisms, the size of the cell increases, then we say the growth has occurred. So the growth of the organism is due to increase in the size as well as increase in the number of the cells. Now types of cells. The first is undifferentiated cells. Undifferentiated cells mean the cells has not any specialized functions. They are not performing any specialized functions like stem cells. They are unspecialized and usually possess the power of division. So in plant cells we know about the undifferentiated cells that we call as meristematic cells. Their main role is just to divide and increase the number of the cells. For example, over here in plants we have root and shoot apex. These meristematic cells, these are present at the root apex and shoot apex, which increases the length of the plant. Then vascular cambium and cork cambium, these cambium cells are also specialized and their main role is to divide. These are present in the plant. Then skin cells. Skin cells, these when we get injury or when we get any cut on the skin, then after few days these cells or the gap or the injury get healed up. Okay, then germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium are present in the reproductive regions like ovary and testes, used to produce gametes. Bone marrow cell. Okay, bone marrow, they are continuously forming, producing the number of the cells, RBCs and all. Then cells of zygote. Zygote cell is what? Unicellular, but after that division occurs in the zygote and results in formation of a multicellular embryo, then fetus. Okay, then next one is the differentiated cells. Differentiated cells, they are also called as post-mitotic cells. They are specialized to perform special function and cell division is absent in them. That means now they are performing, they have attained maturation and they are performing a particular function. Now next, the third type of cells are dedifferentiated cells. That means these cells, they are specialized, but after specialization they had lost their specialization and they start dividing. Okay, that means after attaining a specialized functions, they lost their specialization, they lost their specialized function and they start performing the role of dividing. They start dividing. It helps in healing of wounds, regeneration in animals or vegetative propagation in plants, cell culture experiments. So for in a laboratory, when we take the tissue of the plant, we use to grow that tissue, that in the cell culture, or we call it as tissue culture. So earlier it was what? Performing a particular function, but when we had provided a environment, so we had place that tissue in a cultured medium. Now the division or the dividing capability has been induced in those tissues and then the cells starts dividing. So here, after losing the capability of division, these cells, they start gain the capability to divide and they start dividing. Next is cell. It is called as an open system because it is separated from the surrounding by a boundary that allows, that boundary is the plasma membrane or cell wall, but allows the transfer of material in and out of the cells. That means the cell is capable of exchanging the materials from the external environment as well as the waste from internal environment to the outer environment. Then cell organization. On the basis of the nucleus, Dougherty recognized two types of cellular organization. That means well-developed cell is present or not. So on that basis, we say that two types of cells are present. One is the prokaryotic cell, the other is the eukaryotic cells. Then Dodge recognized mesokaryotic organization in dinoflagellate, means medium. That means prokaryotic and eukaryotic combination in the dinoflagellates. Here is the example. See the type of the eukaryotic cell, then the typical bacteria cell, then PPLO, pleuropneumonia like organisms, then the structure of virus, and it is over here Acetabularia unicellular green algae. Now we will discuss about the differences between the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cells. In prokaryotic we say that the cell size is small. Prokaryotic cellular structure or the size is small in comparison to the eukaryotics. Prokaryotic cell has only one envelope organization, that means one boundary wall, whereas a eukaryotic has two envelope organization, that means double membrane structures are present. Then in prokaryotes, an organized nucleus is absent, means we say that the nucleic content is not membrane bounded, the membrane around the nucleus is absent. That is, the nuclear membrane is absent in prokaryotes, whereas in eukaryotes, nuclear membrane is present as well as it contains a chromatin, one or more nuclei, and nucleoplasm, the genetic material bounded by the nuclear membrane. In prokaryotic cells, cell wall is, if it is present, okay, almost cell wall is absent, but in some prokaryotic cells, if cell wall is present, then it is made up of muramic acid. Whereas in eukaryotes, cell wall, if present, then muramic acid is absent. The DNA which in prokaryotic cell is naked. Naked here means it is not bounded by the nuclear membrane and it does not contain histone proteins. DNA in the eukaryotic cell, it is found with histone proteins. Histone proteins are found to bind the DNA. Whereas in prokaryotic cell, these histone proteins are absent. In prokaryotic cell, DNA lies freely in the cytoplasm because the genetic material is already present in the cytoplasm due to absence of nuclear membrane. In eukaryotic cell, DNA is found in the nucleus, but some amount of DNA is found in the cell cytoplasm in the organelles. like plastids and mitochondria. Plastids and mitochondria. Plastid here means, we take an example of chloroplast. Chloroplast and mitochondria, they contain new DNA in them. Then DNA in prokaryotic cell is circular, whereas in eukaryotic cell the DNA present in the nucleus, that is linear, whereas in extra nuclear DNA that is present in plastids and mitochondria, it is circular. Transcription and translation process. Transcription and translation process which takes place in prokaryotic cell. It occurs in the cell cytoplasm. Now what is transcription and translation? See, during the formation, during the complete life cycle of a cell, certain proteins are required. So for that there is a inner reactions occurs which is called as a transcription and translation. That means from DNA RNA is produced. Okay, the process of formation of RNA from DNA, that is called as transcription. And when RNA is formed, then from RNA certain proteins are formed. The process of formation of proteins from RNA is called as translation. So when DNA itself in prokaryote is present in the nucleus, okay, in prokaryotes we say that the nucleus is absent. So nucleic content is present in the cell cytoplasm in prokaryotes. So DNA is also present in the cell cytoplasm in prokaryotes. So transcription process, it occurs in the cell cytoplasm. Then after transcription, translation process occurs, that is also carried out in the cell cytoplasm in the prokaryotic cell. Whereas when we discuss about the eukaryotic cell, nucleus is bounded by the nuclear membrane. DNA is present in the nucleus. So from DNA, RNA is formed. That process occurs in the nucleus. And RNA comes out from the nucleus through the nuclear membrane. Then comes out from the nucleus, so that means it enters into the cell cytoplasm, and now from RNA proteins are synthesized in the cell cytoplasm. So we say that in eukaryote, transcription process occurs in nucleus and translation process occur in cell cytoplasm. Then in prokaryote, cytoplasm does not show cyclosis. Cyclosis is the streaming movement of the cell's cytoplasm. Okay, cyclosis is the streaming movement of the cytoplasm, whereas in eukaryote, cytoplasm shows cyclosis. Then membrane bound cell organelles are absent in prokaryote, whereas in eukaryote these membrane bound cell organelles are present. Microtubules and microfilaments, these are commonly absent in prokaryotes and are present in eukaryotes. Prokaryotes does not undergo sexual reproduction, so we say that gametes are absent, gametes are not formed, and in eukaryotes gametes are formed, sexual reproduction occurs. Prokaryotes, spindle apparatus is not formed during division. Spindle apparatus is formed due to centrioles. Okay, centrioles are present in eukaryotes and are absent in prokaryotes. When centrioles are absent in prokaryotes, then spindle fibers are not formed, and spindle fibers or spindle apparatus is formed only during the division, cell division. Then 70S type of ribosomes are found in prokaryotes, and in eukaryotes 80S type of ribosomes are found in the nucleus. Okay, almost, whereas 70S type of ribosomes are found only in mitochondria and plastids. Centrioles are absent in prokaryotes. Centriole is present in the animal cells and in lower plants. Example of prokaryotes are bacteria, cyanobacteria, mycoplasma, and examples of eukaryotic cells are protists, fungi, plants and animals. Now here we discuss about the differences between the plant cell and the animal cells. Just take a brief look over here that plant cells have rigid cell wall, whereas animal cells cell wall absent. Plastids are found in plant cells, plastids are absent in animal cells. Mature cell of the plant cell has a large central vacuole, whereas in animal cells, vacuoles are sometimes absent, but if they are present, they are many in number, but their size is very, very small. In plant cells, nucleus lies to one side due to the presence of large central vacuole, whereas in animal cell, nucleus is usually located in the center of the cell. In plant cells, centrioles are absent. In animal cells, centrioles are present. When centrioles are absent, then spindle apparatus is formed during nuclear division. That's why astral rays are absent. So we call it as anastral. In animal cells, spindle is amphiastral because of the presence of centriole, and centriole form the spindle fibers. Then Golgi apparatus in plant cells consists of the number of distinct and unconnected units, and these unconnected units, these are called as dictyosomes. Whereas in animal cells, Golgi apparatus is localized or diffused and consists of well-connected single complex. That's why it is called as Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. Reserve food in plant cell is generally starch and fat, and in animal cell, the reserve food is glycogen and fat. Adjacent cells in plant cells, they may be connected through plasmodesmata. Plasmodesmata means the connection between the two cells. Plasmodesmata is a door-like connection which allow the exchange of substances or movement of the cell cytoplasm within the two cells. So that connection is called as plasmodesmata in plants, and in animal cell called as cell junctions. Cytokinesis in plants, it occurs by the cell plate formation. Cytokinesis is the process, that is the division of the cell cytoplasm, which is done or followed after karyokinesis. Means when the nuclear division has occurred, after that cell division occurs, and the process of cell division or cytoplasm division is called as cytokinesis. So this cytokinesis in plant cell, it occurs by cell plate. Cell plate is the formation of a plate in the center. Okay. Then in animal cells, cytokinesis takes place by the cleavage, that means constriction or formation of a furrow from outside to the inside. That is called as cleavage, due to which the cell division occurs. Now you can see the diagram of the cell. This is the plant cell, typical plant cell. Ultrastructure of plant cell, it contains the nucleus, nuclear envelope, then large central vacuoles are present. Vacuole outer membrane is called as tonoplast, then microtubules are present. The connection between the two cells is called plasmodesmata is there. All the cell organelles are present over here. Now next is the animal cell. In animal cell, the nucleus is located in the center. Centrioles are present, peroxisomes, lysosomes, ribosomes, mitochondria, rough endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, nucleolus, nuclear envelope, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. These all are present. Now next is prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell is the primitive cell. We call it as the primitive cell, okay, or early formed cells. These cells bears naked genetic material. The genetic material is naked because they does not have the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane, and the nucleic content is present in the cell cytoplasm. The characteristics of prokaryotic cells, like eukaryotic cells, they are different in shape and size but small than eukaryotes and divide rapidly. Genetic material is naked, so it is called as nucleoid. Genomic DNA is circular, means the DNA of the prokaryotic cell is circular and is termed as containing single chromosomes. Besides genomic DNA, small circular DNA is present in many bacteria, and that is called as plasmid. It makes them antibiotic resistant and also responsible for bacterial transformation. This is an important characteristic feature of some bacteria like E. coli, which contain the plasmid DNA. Prokaryotic cell envelope consists of 3 layers: outer glycocalyx, middle cell wall, and innermost cell membrane. If these envelopes, means if we say that the prokaryotic cells, they are stained by Gram stain, then they are called as positive bacteria, Gram positive bacteria. If they are stained by the Gram stain is a particular type of staining substance. If the bacteria, they take the color of the Gram stain, then we call it as Gram positive bacteria, and if they don't, then we call them as Gram negative bacteria. Glycocalyx is what? It is a polysaccharide. Means it is a particular type of sugar which forms the covering around the bacteria. So we call that glycocalyx envelope. It occurs in 2 forms. In some bacteria, it forms a loose sheath or slimy layer, and in some bacteria, it forms thick and tough structure called as capsule. Plasma membrane extensions like vesicles, tubules, lamellae not only help in cell wall formation, DNA replication, secretion, increase in surface area, but also form some specific structure for specific photosynthesis. Okay, so cell wall form some filamentous extensions also in bacteria, and these extensions, they are called as flagellum or flagella. These flagellum consist of a filament, hook, and a basal body. It helps in the locomotion of the bacteria. Besides flagella, they are having a small structures present on their surface body. They are called as pillae and fimbriae. These are also surface structures of bacteria, but they do not play role in motility. Means pillae and fimbriae, they does not allow or they does not help the bacteria or prokaryotic cell in locomotion. Pillae are elongated tubular structures. These are made up of special protein. Whereas fimbriae, these are small bristle-like fibers. They sprout out from the cell and provide attachment to the substratum or to the host body. That means these fimbriae, they helps in the attachment of the cell to the basal region, to the base, or when it comes in contact with the host tissue, then it helps in attachment with the host body. See the diagram of the bacteria, prokaryotic cell. See, in the center, the genetic material is spread in the cell cytoplasm, so it is called as nucleoid. Plasma membrane is there, cytoplasm, basal body. So this is the flagellum, single flagellum is over here. Flagellum is connected to the inner side, and that inner portion is called as the basal body. Then the portion which arises from the basal body is called as hook, and then the filament. Small structures, pillars is also arised, pillae. This is the diagram of prokaryotic cell.